We would like to welcome you to this video, this summer video of the Golden Rosy Cross. And the theme is the Great Spiritual Awakening. Over the last months, many of you have asked very pertinent questions about life, about our existence, about the practice, and also how does the Golden Rosy Cross operate in ourselves, in the community, and in the world. And I'd like to start off with two questions which had been asked. One is, where is the divine? And the other is, who are we as human beings? So if we ask the question, where is the divine? We could say that each one of us has two aspects, mortal and immortal. So within our being we have a mortal element, which most probably we know about and we feel about, but we also have the immortal. Immortality is in each one of us. And then we can say, who are we as human beings? We are as human beings the carriers of the divine. And the Golden Rosy Cross speaks of the spirit spark atom. So it is an atom within our total molecular structure, that atom which is linked and is part of the universal spirit. And it is into that realm, into that inner being, that we can go as a mortal being, losing our mortality and entering into immortality. And we shall go on with other questions and other, hopefully, answers, contributions from our friends from different countries as we record this video. As we mentioned, we're here in one of our conference centers, and the subject of this video is the Great Spiritual Awakening. And I've managed to find one or two volunteers, one or two participants who are here for this oncoming activity. And I'd like to ask them a few questions of the reason why they're here, what they're doing, and it'll be very interesting to hear how they see their life, how they see their contact also with the Golden Rosy Cross. So I'd like to ask you the question, why are you in the Golden Rosy Cross?
This is because all my life I felt this inner emptiness, and when I realized that in me is other reality, other state of consciousness, I decided to devote myself to this. And in the Golden Rosy Cross I have the tools to do that, and the people with who I can do it every day.
And yourself, how do you see that? Why are you in the Golden Rosy Cross?
Why I'm in the Golden Rosy Cross? Well, I was always attracted by spirituality, esoteric teachings, but why I'm in the Rosy Cross? A few years ago I was a student and I had this problem that I could go on with the studies, and if I wanted, I think I could be successful and have a nice job, but that did not make any sense at all in my life. And at that time my ideas about love and relationship were also being crushed. And then there was a public meeting of the Golden Rosy Cross about, it said Rosicrucians about karma and reincarnation. And I thought maybe that will give some meaning to my life. And then my head said, that might be it. My feelings said, it feels like home. And my heart just started vibrating like it was a whole different atmosphere. And then I had a lot of emotions, dark thoughts and obstacles, but I thought, let's stay, let's see. And this is how I'm in the Golden Rosy Cross.
So it means something in your life, and has it changed your life in any way? What does it mean for you in your practice, where you work or where you study, your relations with others?
Yes, for me, what I hear from the Golden Rosy Cross in the first meetings is that we have to change our life completely, and it's not just going to be a path of light and rose. We'll have to abandon our ego, and a complete revolution, a complete renewal and a rebirth. For me that was, okay, this is a guarantee that this is serious, it's not just a fantasy. And then I've always thought these are the changes, the magic changes, the light changes in my life, and I was always wrong. And every time I thought this was it, I was wrong and going into a new wall. And after years I saw that it brought deep changes, much more quiet emotional life, more quality in the relationships with my family, with others. I could see more and more the meaning of my life, of my day. But all the changes that I thought would happen, also I thought that professionally it would be much more amazing because I would be much more conscious and so on. No, it remained normal in my everyday life. It very much remained very normal. Yeah, there was no revolution like that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out, and that I managed to grab you and ask you to participate in this video and to speak as I heard you speaking from your heart, from your inner experience. And I'm sure that the questions which will be asked and are being asked by many people have also received from you a certain live testimony. And during this video we're going to also go into quite a number of questions that we have been receiving from many people from many countries. So once again, thank you, and wish you all the best in your life and on this path, and that you can walk through that gateway that we have there symbolically. So all the best.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
You talk of different bodies, the chakra system. Can you please explain?
Yes, self-knowledge is vital on the spiritual path. So we have to know how we are composed, what we are made up of. And when we talk of bodies, the universal teachings talk of 4 bodies. We know and see our physical body, but it is surrounded by the etheric body. And that etheric body is, one could say, permeated by the astral body, and linked also in its development to the mental body. So when we talk of our thinking, our willing, our emotions, this is all linked to those 4 bodies. But there are energies, very important energies, which function within and through those bodies. So we can talk of the chakra system. And as many of you have read or seen references, we talk of 7 systems of rotating energies as vortices within our bodies that link then the astral, the etheric, and the physical body. That gives the energy, that gives the life force. And then the question could be, and what about the Rosy Cross? You want to develop certain chakra systems, and we say no, we don't want to develop any chakra systems. We want to go the other way. So it means a reversal. It means by a process of non-being, by a process of inner revolution, the way in which those chakra systems, those vortices turn, will slow down. And that is non-being. That is also the self-surrender of which the Golden Rosy Cross speaks. And from there the chakras can turn in the other direction.
When you speak about the self-surrender, what does surrender? Your personality surrenders?
When we talk of surrendering, it would not be so much the personality, because we should see you and me as the personality as a tool, as an instrument for the divine, for that divine force that is in us. But then the surrender is effectively the surrender of the ego to the eternal being in us. And if we are able to surrender in that way, the personality doesn't serve the ego, but serves eternity.
So what's the difference between ego and personality?
Yeah, that's a very valid and important question, and sometimes there is confusion. We see the personality, the persona, which also means mask, but the persona as the total instrument of our consciousness, which allows us to take necessary decisions. But today we are not free, because we are not only dominated by the ego, the lower self, but also by the higher self. So that turning around is for the personality not to listen to the egocentric motivations of being, but to be able to turn to that spirit spark atom, to that spark of the spirit in the center of our hearts.
And what is the soul? Is it the same as the consciousness?
A good and difficult question, but a vital question. What is the soul? The soul is composed of energies. We can talk of fluids. We can talk of the nervous fluid. We can talk of hormonal secretion. We talk of the nervous system. We talk of our blood. And we also talk of our consciousness. So the consciousness is part of the soul, part of what we could call the natural soul.
This is a very interesting question about how the International Spiritual School of the Golden Rosy Cross operates in our communities and in the world. In essence, the school operates through its pupils and its members. The school is an energy field, it's a force field in which those who have an affinity with it are attracted to it through the rose of the heart, this point of contact, which has many names and has been called different names across time: the lotus flower, the pearl in the desert, the mustard seeds. This point of contact between the spiritual world and the natural world, when through this point of contact a person is able to connect, like-minded persons able to connect with one another, then they can inflame in themselves, they can inflame in their heart the Kundalini force, the Kundalini energy that comes out of this point of contact transforms us. The new power, the new vibration transforms our state of being. And by doing so, whatever we interact with, it transforms it, be it at work with our colleagues, with our families, with our friends, in the marketplace. We live and transform everything in our lives. And so therefore, as light bearers, as those who live with this Kundalini energy from the heart, we are able to move along with life in an impersonal way, in love, in light, and transform all our relationships such that in this nature we are able to express this spiritual force, which will in turn transform all of life and humankind.
To add to what my friend just talked about in regards to the questions you often get during our public presentations, what does the Golden Rosy Cross community do for the world? What do you as a pupil do for the world? Do you as an organization or individual champion any social issues, charity of any kind? The short answer to these questions would be nothing or none. Because whatever we endeavor to do with our ordinary state of consciousness always falls short of bringing long-lasting unity, love, or even peace. Moreover, what we earnestly try to accomplish in that state always at a given moment turn to its opposite or create frictions. For example, if you help someone, you can rest assured that someone else will be unhappy with your intervention, sometimes the very person you helped. If you agree with one group of people, the opposing group will be upset with you for not siding with them instead. So what we do as Rosicrucians is work on ourselves first. You're all familiar with the instruction we get before taking off on a plane. Put your oxygen mask first before reaching out to your neighbor to assist. Or better yet, the saying, take off the log in your own eye so you can see clearly to remove the speck of your neighbor's eye. So, as my friend mentioned earlier, we all have within ourselves the divine, a remnant of our former consciousness in the higher reality. For most of humanity, that spark burns faintly and lies dormant. Our task as human beings is to reconnect with it. Self-knowledge is one of the first steps towards that awakening. In doing so, we take an objective and honest look at ourselves and observe our thoughts and our comings and goings, our expectation, and everything that holds us back from reconnecting with the divine. To get to that space, we purposely devote the necessary time to enter into our innermost being and really listen and follow the desire of the heart, the divine call. As you go through this inner transformation and begin to acquaint yourself with who you really are, there is no more pretense, no judgment of oneself, just a realization that you need to make way for the divine in you to grow. That is when the actual journey begins. With an open heart and consciousness, you begin to, as with a gardener, weed your garden from weeds, dead leaves, and more, without self-judgment. That's key. There will be fleeting moments in time where the divine in you will take the lead, but often than not, you will want to remain on the driver's seat. You're practically living as if in a survival mode. By you, I mean that part of you that is still completely ruled by your ego or your egocentric tendencies. I know deep down that I need to go through a complete inner reversal, but at the same time, I like the way I am right now. It is much easier to be consumed by the world and its distraction than to transcend and remove myself from these polarities. It is an everyday, every minute, every second endeavor, and 100% of the time we are not fully aware of the subtle transition, because what we notice more are the stumbles, the perceived failures. We just don't realize that those very events in our lives slowly but surely chiseled away at our consciousness barriers, making way for the divine within to take his rightful place at the center of our being. Each of us individually and collectively in the Golden Rosy Cross community create an electromagnetic power field when we get together, whether in our special temple, which are linked within our inner temple, or virtually as we have been doing lately. Only at that point are we able to reach out to the community and the world from a place of neutrality, from a place of real service, of selflessness, and unconditional universal love. That assistance, that light that we can share or project, is more far-reaching than any monies and any cause you may want to support or any situation that you may want to redress. It is impersonal, everlasting, and it aims to bring about the great spiritual awakening in all of us. Thank you for your time today. We hope to connect soon, either virtually or in person.